One man conquered 3,000 miles, from Greece to India, in just one decade. He never lost a single battle. Historians call him Alexander the Great. But was he truly a solitary military genius? Or was he merely the beneficiary of a perfect war machine, a military apparatus already perfected by his father, King Philip II? We will not praise the legend. We will dissect his most decisive battle, Gaugamela, and discover that Alexander's success lay in a less talked about secret, the absolute loyalty and superior warfare technology of Macedon. Our goal is to analyze, was Alexander an exceptional strategist or just a reckless gambler? If you want to separate legend from historical truth and deeply analyze the military strategies that changed the world, hit subscribe and turn on notifications immediately. The ancient epic community is the place for true historical investigators. Let's evaluate the greatest general of the ancient world. Setting the context, the inheritor of a dream. Alexander did not appear in a vacuum. He was a product of Macedon, a kingdom in northern Greece once considered semi-barbaric by the southern city-states, yet a relentlessly evolving military power. When Alexander ascended the throne, he did not just inherit a crown, he inherited a professional army and a dream of conquering Persia that had been meticulously conceived and prepared by his father. Part I. The legacy of Philip II, the perfect war machine. The forgotten leader. Before Alexander, the world belonged to Philip II. Philip transformed Macedon from a backward territory into the dominant power of Greece. Alexander learned much, but Philip's material legacy was what changed the game. That was the Philip reforms. The game-changing technology, the sarissa. The core weapon of Macedon was the sarissa, a pike ranging from 13 to 20 feet long. Compared to the spears of Greece or Persia, the sarissa was nearly double the length. In the Macedonian phalanx formation, the sarissa created an impenetrable wall of steel spikes. The first 5 ranks of pikes could extend beyond the front line, making it impossible for enemy infantry to reach the Macedonian soldiers. Analysis. This was a revolutionary technological shift. It transformed the phalanx from a passive defensive tool into an effective and terrifying punching machine. Alexander did not invent the sarissa. He inherited and utilized it perfectly. The perfect combination. Philip also created an unprecedented elite cavalry force, known as the companion cavalry. In Macedonian tactics, the sarissa phalanx held the enemy infantry, creating a static anchor. Alexander's job, who often personally led the companion cavalry, was to find the enemy's weak spot and deliver the decisive attack like a steel drill. Alexander inherited an army that was trained, disciplined, and fought for wages, not just duty. This was the ancient world's first professional army. Part 2. The moment of genius, the Battle of Gaugamela. The overwhelming power of Persia. The Battle of Gaugamela, where Alexander finally faced Darius III, was the ultimate test for Alexander. The Persian army outnumbered the Macedonian forces by at least 5 to 1. Darius III had not only infantry, but terrifying specialized combat units, scythed chariots and war elephants. Every rule of conventional warfare dictated that Alexander should avoid direct engagement or choose narrow terrain. But Alexander did the opposite. He chose to fight on a wide plain, where Persia could maximize its numerical superiority and cavalry. The nature of so-called genius. Alexander's tactic at Gaugamela was a precise blend of extraordinary courage and supreme field reading ability. Maneuver. Alexander moved his formation to the right, stretching Darius's battle line. Darius was forced to respond by launching his cavalry to try and outflank him. The trap. As the Persian cavalry was drawn out, a small but fatal gap appeared between the Persian center and their flank. The decisive blow. This is where Alexander's personal genius shone. He did not hesitate. He personally led the companion cavalry in a charge through that gap, striking directly at the center where Darius III was standing. Risk and the trade-off. This action was a reckless gamble. Alexander placed his own life in extreme danger, but it was a precise calculation. In the Persian military system, if the emperor fell, the army fell. When Alexander and his cavalry closed in on Darius, Darius III fled. The collapse of Darius's morale spread across the battlefield. Although other Persian flanks were still fighting well and had even penetrated the Macedonian ranks, they lost the will to fight. Alexander won, not by annihilating the entire enemy force, but by a precise psychological and personal technique based on a deep understanding of the structural weakness in his opponent's chain of command. The Battle of Gaugamela proved Alexander was an extraordinary leader, but his success also depended on another factor: propaganda. If you are finding this content valuable, one click of your subscribe button will help Ancient Epic continue to shed light on these mysteries. Part 3: The Psychology of Leadership and Divine Propaganda. The ability to manage people. Alexander was not just a general. He was a master human resources manager and a genius propagandist. Alexander understood that to keep an army loyal thousands of miles from home, he needed more than money and victory. He needed personal veneration and idealization of the purpose. Personal loyalty. Alexander always led the most dangerous charges. His wounds were badges of courage, reinforcing the absolute loyalty of his soldiers. They fought for Alexander, not just for Macedon. Cultural respect. When conquering Persia and Egypt, he did not devastate. He respected local religions and customs. He proclaimed himself pharaoh in Egypt and adopted Persian dress after defeating Darius. This was a brilliant political move, transforming himself from a conqueror into a legitimate ruler. The demigod image. Alexander's most important strategy was crafting his image as a demigod. In Egypt, he made a perilous journey across the desert to visit the oracle of Ammon, Zeus Ammon. The prophecy confirmed Alexander as the son of the god Zeus. This act served a dual purpose. First, it legitimized his rule to the Egyptians. Pharaoh was the son of Ra. Second, it bolstered the morale of the Greek army, reinforcing the idea that they were following a general blessed by the gods. The difference between a brigand and a leader. Alexander transformed the conquest into a cultural crusade to spread Greek civilization. His soldiers, though greedy, were convinced they were the bearers of enlightenment. Alexander did not just defeat Persian kings, he replaced them legitimately in the eyes of the local populace. This is the ultimate art of leadership. Part 4: The Curse of Greatness and the End. The Fatal Weakness. Despite his genius, Alexander was still human with flaws. Temper. He was prone to murderous rages, most famously the slaying of his close friend Clytus the Black in a drunken fit. This showed a loss of personal control under pressure. Endless ambition. His journey had no endpoint. He pushed his army to the absolute limit, past India to the Hyphasis River, where his soldiers finally refused to go further. The exhausted soldier. The army's refusal to march further was a profound psychological defeat for Alexander. It proved that even absolute loyalty has its boundaries. His army had fought and marched too long, beyond all geographical and spiritual barriers. The death and the eternal lesson. Alexander died suddenly in Babylon, not yet 33 years old. The cause remains a mystery: malaria, alcohol, or poison. Analysis. Whatever the reason, his death exposed the fatal weakness of the empire, the lack of a succession mechanism. His empire was a personal kingdom, built on personal loyalty, not on established, robust institutions. Immediately after his death, his generals began a brutal struggle to carve up the empire, known as the Wars of the Diadochi. Alexander's legacy was not a unified empire, but a prolonged Hellenistic age, where Greek culture spread across the Middle East. The final conclusion. Was Alexander the Great truly a genius? The answer is yes, but not alone. His success was the perfect combination of three factors. Philip's legacy. He inherited the best military technology of his time: Sarissa companion cavalry. Personal genius. He possessed extraordinary courage and the ability to make rapid, precise decisions in moments of crisis. Gaugamela, Tyre. Psychology and politics. He used propaganda and cultural synthesis to maintain control over a colossal empire. Alexander was a flame that burned the world, but he failed to build an institution that could withstand the heat of that fire. He created an era, but not an eternal empire. Call to action 3-end video. Do you think Alexander was the greatest of all time? Or was Philip II the true architect of greatness? Comment below, share your thoughts, and join the historical debate with us. Don't forget to subscribe to the Ancient Epic channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our deep analyses of humanity's greatest legacies. See you in the next epic! Known as the Wars of the Diadochi. Alexander's legacy was not a unified empire, but a prolonged Hellenistic age, where Greek culture spread across the Middle East. The final conclusion. Was Alexander the Great truly a genius? The answer is yes, but not alone. His success was the perfect combination of three factors. Philip's legacy. He inherited the best military technology of his time: Sarissa companion cavalry. Personal genius. He possessed extraordinary courage and the ability to make rapid, precise decisions in moments of crisis. Gaugamela, Tyre. Psychology and politics. He used propaganda and cultural synthesis to maintain control over a colossal empire. Alexander was a flame that burned the world, but he failed to build an institution that could withstand the heat of that fire. He created an era, but not an eternal empire. Call to action 3-end video. Do you think Alexander was the greatest of all time? Or was Philip II the true architect of greatness? Comment below, share your thoughts, and join the historical debate with us. Don't forget to subscribe to the Ancient Epic channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our deep analyses of humanity's greatest legacies. See you in the next epic!